Hey, it's Faith Talk Live. I'm Rick Probst.
And I'm Dan Ratcliffe.
What a pleasure to talk to this pastor, Pastor Benny Tate. He is the lead pastor at Rock Springs Church in Milner. Pastor, how are you?
Hey, I am doing great. It's a wonderful, wonderful day.
I got to tell you, I was just on the website this morning and I watched the video of your testimony, and I was so moved by your testimony. It's a short testimony. I mean, it's a short video. I think it's only like 3 minutes, but I watched it and I was like, man, that is such a great testimony. You touched my heart deeply. I want everybody to watch that. You brought up some really cool stuff. At 16 years of age, you gave your life to Christ. You guys weren't churchgoers, but I think it was a cousin of your mother's that led her to the Lord. And then eventually the preacher came by to see you, which that's back in the day, right? The preacher came at midnight to pray with you. That's awesome.
Wow.
Exactly right.
And then in 1990, you took over the church there with 25 people. It's not 25 people any longer. It's changed quite a bit over the last 30 years. But what a story. Tell us maybe about from the beginning there at Rock Springs. What were you excited about? What were you looking forward to?
Well, from my testimony, Brother Rick, I truly believe that Jesus Christ changes people's lives. I saw transformation in my mother's life. My mother actually was at her wit's end, as the Bible talks about. And that first cousin who led her to Christ, she went to her house to commit suicide. She didn't know that first cousin had became a believer. So when my mom knocked on the door and said, "Can I stay overnight with you?" she was planning to end her life there. And that's when that first cousin said, "We're not the people that we used to be. We've given our lives to Christ. And more than anything, you need Christ." And my mother accepted the Lord. I've said 1,000 times, the place where she went to end her life, she actually found life. And so when I came to Rock Springs Church, I had no problem believing that Jesus Christ could change anybody. Yeah. And so our focus was just on reaching people, like what God had done in our lives, in my life, in my family's lives. I just wanted to reach people. I was asked a question one time, Dan. They said, How do you build a big church? How do you build a big church? And I said, well, I never started out to build a big church. I just started out to build people. And I believe if we'll build people, God will build his church.
I think you're right. And we were talking before we went on the air that we've had one of your great ladies on, Pam Jenkins, several times. And she just has wonderful, glowing things to say about Pastor Benny Tate. Now, is it all true, or did she pay to say that, or what?
Well, I tell you what, I appreciate her. I think she's in the dark. I really believe that. I've often said that there's so much bad in the best of us, and there's so much good in the worst of us. It hardly leaves any of us to talk about the rest of us. And there's a lot of bad here, too.
Pastor Benny Tate, he is the senior pastor, Rock Springs Church. And I saw a little bit of video of the church, and you guys are rocking. That worship team was amazing. I saw some guest speakers that have been speaking, throughout the years, and it's just some really great stuff that is going on there. I was going to say that we are in post-COVID times. We're not quite in post-COVID. But have your messages changed much pre-COVID, post-COVID, or are they basically the same?
Well, I think they're basically the same. We have tried to deal with some issues of, like I am starting a series right now on friendship. It's basically people have been isolated, and we need one another. You study the creation story, everything God created. He said, "This is good, this is good, this is good." Mm-hmm. Then he gets to the point, he says, now man's all by himself and this is not good. And so, we're focusing on friendship because I think people have been isolated. Think about this. What is ultimate punishment? Ultimate punishment is solitary confinement. Mm-hmm. And we need one another. So I think as people are coming back to church, it's been refreshing. It's been encouraging. Not everybody's back, but a lot of people are back. We're just talking about how we need one another.
Pastor, I'm excited about something I saw on your website, the men's night coming up at Rock Springs with Mark Richt coming up on August 6th. You had me with axe throwing. That sounds like a blast. And what a great thing for men. Just get an axe and just throw it at a target. Tell us about the men's night that's coming up.
Well, I believe if you can reach the men, you can reach the family. And it's just a big night of men. There'll be activities. There's going to be a car show. There's going to be axe throwing, just a lot of stuff for men. And then I'll be interviewing Coach Mark Richt. He'll be giving his testimony, and we'll be talking a lot about mentoring and how is iron sharpeneth iron. I believe there's 3 people that every person needs in their lives. I believe we all need a Barnabas to encourage us. I believe we all need a Timothy that we're pouring into. And I believe we all need a Paul that we're looking to. And hey, I think Mark Richt's a Paul in a lot of people's lives. He's been a Paul to a lot of his players and a lot of his staff. And we're just going to be talking to him about his recent diagnosis with Parkinson's and other things. And so this is what I've learned. In life, people need 3 things. People need something to do, someone to love, and something to look forward to. And I often say churches need something to look forward to. So we've always tried to keep something for the people to look forward to at Rock Springs Church. And so this is just one of those things that we're looking forward to. I would like to say something, that I'm looking forward to. I have been the pastor here for 32 years. I'm just starting my 32nd year. And I have written something with Harvest House Publishing. It's actually my first published book. It's going to come out in November, and it's called Defy the Odds. It talks about how my life defied the odds. I didn't even know who my father was till I was 30 years of age, so I certainly wasn't groomed to be a preacher. It talks about how my life has defied the odds. Rock Springs Church, we're in Milner, Georgia. The population is 600 people. Our zip code is EIEIO. I mean, we've got thousands of people. I think Sunday we had almost 6,000 people. Wow. So when you've got a population of 500 and you've got 6,000 people, that's defying the odds. And then in the book, I talk about how people can defy the odds. And so I am so excited about, again, my book that's coming out in November. I hope to come back with you guys, and maybe we could talk about my book some more.
Definitely.
It'd be my privilege.
We'd love for you to do that. I think I went through Milner one time years and years ago. And yeah, if you blink, you can almost miss it. But then when I looked on the website and I saw the church and how many services and the crowds, I'm like, my gracious, where are all those folks coming from? So, it looks like that they're having an awesome time, and that they're growing and they're passionate about Christ and being there.
Well, I think people are. I think people are excited about something that's bigger than them. People are excited about a vision. If you can help people to realize that God created them for a unique purpose, and they were made on purpose for a purpose, something much bigger than them. And Rock Springs Church says that we can believe God for big things. And when you come here, and like I said, you see all of the buildings here, not any of them are trophies, but they are tools, just tools for reaching people for Christ.
Love that. Pastor Benny Tate, senior pastor at Rock Springs Church, defying the odds, coming out in November. Why now, Pastor? After all these years, you decided to write a book. Why not earlier?
Well, I probably should have earlier. I'll just be transparent. One of the reasons why probably at such a time as this is there's a lady in our church. She has the gift of writing. Her name's Brittany McNeely. And so I just talked and she just recorded and she wrote the book. And so I think part of the reason would be is, for such a time as this, God sent me the person I needed to help me do this, because that is not my giftedness. That's not my, that's not my real comfort zone in writing. And so and also God has allowed us to do some things. You talked about driving through Milner. Somebody said, the secret to church growth is location, location, location. Well, we disprove that. We sure don't. We don't have that location. That's why about every 2 years we do a big conference called Defy the Odds, and we're doing that conference in February of next year. And churches and people will have an opportunity to come here from all over the nation, and we just give them the nuts and bolts of what we're doing. And we say to those churches and those pastors and those Christian leaders, you can defy the odds too. I think there's certain things, man, even in this COVID, and I know everything is Zoom now, but there was 4 men in the Bible who had to get the guy to Jesus, and they had to get him in the house.
Right.
And I think there's certain things we only get when we're in the house.
Mhm.
I'm all in. I love podcasts. I love all that. But sometimes we just need to be in the house, because sometimes it's not just taught, it's caught.
Yeah.
And we're wanting to bring people here, and we believe it can be caught. And God wants to do great things. I believe the best days, men, I believe the best days of the church are not behind us. The best days for the church, I'm talking about the capital C church. The best days for the capital C church are out ahead of us.
Yes. Absolutely.
Benny Tate, rockspringsonline.com is the website for the church. You can find out more about the men's conference, which again is coming up with Mark Richt, August 6th. And where can folks go to find out more about the book, Pastor?
Well, basically, they can go to Rock Springs Online. They can just go to our website and find out all about the book. But again, the date it will be launching will be November the 7th. Hey, that's a great day. I don't know if you guys remember, but that was Billy Graham's birthday.
Oh, great day to have that come out. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We'd love to talk to you closer to the time when it's coming out, and then afterward to see the response of the book. We know it's going to be amazing. Pastor Benny Tate, the lead pastor, Rock Springs Church. Pastor, thank you so much for your time. We do want to get back with you. We appreciate you, and thank you for just doing what you do so well.
Well, hey, listen, I want you to know, from the time I started preaching, when I was 17 years old, I was on the radio station. Mm-hmm. I want you to know, radio ministry is powerful.
Thanks
a lot. Appreciate that.
Yeah. Let's take a break. We'll be right back. I'm Rick Probst.
And I'm Dan Ratcliffe.
This is Faith Talk Live.